From the moment you wake up, you're just surrounded by marketing, right? On your phone, on TV, it's literally everywhere. But have you ever stopped to think like, how do they actually do that? How do they grab your attention? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain. We're opening up the marketer's secret playbook to see how the magic happens.
And to really see this playbook in action, there is no better story than a brand that pulled off one of the most amazing comebacks you've ever seen. Okay, so let's set the scene. The year is 2009, and I say the words Old Spice. What do you think of? Yeah, probably your grandpa's aftershave, right? It was a classic for sure, but let's be honest, it wasn't exactly cool.
But then, just 1 year later, everything changed. They dropped this absolutely hilarious Super Bowl ad, "The Man Your Man Could Smell Like." And it wasn't just a TV ad. No, this thing went viral. It just exploded online. And the result? Sales shot straight through the roof. It was a total sensation.
So that's the big question, right? How on earth does a brand that's basically your dad's aftershave suddenly become this modern, viral hit? What was their secret weapon?
Well, to figure that out, we have to look at the fundamental strategies that all brands use. It's time to open up that marketer's playbook.
All right, first up is the play you probably see the most, advertising. This is the big one. It's how brands talk to millions of us all at once.
Okay, so the 5 M's of advertising. Now this might look kind of like textbook stuff, but it's actually super important. It's a framework that forces marketers to be really smart and answer the most critical questions before they spend a single dime. Every single campaign, whether it's for a Super Bowl commercial or just a local ad, has to go through these 5 steps: mission, money, message, media, and measurement.
So let's zoom in on that first M, the mission. This is all about asking, why are we even doing this? Because, and this is key, it's not always just about making a sale right now. Sometimes the goal is just to inform you about something new, like those OnStar Real Stories ads. Other times it's to persuade you that their beer is better than the other guy's beer. Or maybe it's just to remind you they exist, like a classic Coca-Cola ad that just makes you feel good. And sometimes it's to reinforce your choice, to make you feel awesome about that thing you just bought.
All right, let's move on to message. This is where the real creative genius happens. And for a perfect example of a brilliant message, you really don't have to look any further than these 2 iconic words. Got milk?
And the reason this was so genius is because of the insight behind it. See, they didn't waste time telling people milk was healthy. We all knew that already. Instead, they tapped into a universal, kind of annoying feeling. That moment you pour a bowl of cereal and realize the milk carton is empty. They focused on milk deprivation, and it was brilliant.
Another great way to get your message across is to create a character you just can't forget. I mean, think about the insurance world. It's so crowded. How do you stand out? Well, you could get a duck to squawk your company name, or maybe a gecko with a cool accent. And trust me, it works. Aflac's name recognition went from just 13% all the way up to a whopping 91%, all because of that duck.
Okay, so your ad is great. You've got people's attention. But what if you need them to buy something, like right now? Well, for that, marketers turn to the next play in the book, the irresistible offer.
And this slide just nails the difference. Think of it this way. Advertising gives you a reason to buy. A sales promotion gives you an incentive to buy. It's the difference between want and want it now.
So what exactly is a sales promotion? Well, it's basically a collection of tools, all with one goal: to get you to buy something quicker, or maybe buy more of it than you planned. It's all about creating that sense of urgency.
And you see these things everywhere, right? Digital coupons on your phone are a huge one, but so are those free samples at the grocery store, or mail-in rebates for electronics, or even contests where you can win some huge prize. They're all designed to do one thing: get you to act now.
But marketing isn't just about telling you things or giving you discounts. What if a brand could make you feel something? What if they could create a whole experience? Well, that brings us to our next play.
And if you want to talk about experiences, this is how you make a huge splash. GE was launching a new washer. Did they just run an ad? Nope. They hung 800 feet of clothing right in the middle of Times Square. Can you imagine? It was this massive public spectacle that you just couldn't ignore. The buzz was insane.
But an experience doesn't have to be that huge to work. It can also be something much more personal and intimate. Take Crayola, for example. They invite families into these experience centers where kids can actually see how their favorite crayons are made. That creates a really powerful personal connection and a memory that lasts a lifetime.
So that leads right into sponsorships. I mean, why do companies spend millions, even billions of dollars to slap their logos on sports arenas and music festivals? Well, this slide lays out the strategy perfectly. It's about connecting their brand to a certain lifestyle. It's about getting their name out there, reinforcing their image, and creating these positive feelings and experiences that hopefully you'll start to associate with their product.
All right, we're on to our final play. And this one moves beyond just ads and discounts. This is about shaping the entire public conversation. It's about winning the narrative, and it's where all the other plays can come together.
And that brings us to public relations, or PR. Now, the key thing to understand here is the difference between paid and earned media. Advertising is paid. You buy a commercial slot. PR is earned. It's when a news station or a popular blog thinks your story is so interesting that they decide to cover it for free. You can't buy that kind of credibility.
And a really clever PR stunt can be way more powerful than a massive ad campaign. Just look at IKEA. For next to no money, they let a comedian literally live in one of their stores for a week. The story was just so weird and funny that it got picked up everywhere, generating 382 million media impressions. You could never afford to buy that much attention.
So, what's the ultimate move? What's the grand finale in the playbook? It's the integrated campaign. That's when a brand doesn't just pick one play, they use all of them together. And the Oreo Double Stuff Racing League was an absolute masterclass. Look at this. They had it all. They had the advertising, big TV commercials with celebrity athletes. They had events, a real live lick race competition with a $10,000 prize. And they had promotions, online games, and sweepstakes. It was this perfect storm of marketing that hit you from every direction, creating a true cultural moment, not just an ad campaign.
So there you have it. We've opened the playbook. We've seen the strategies that brands use every single day to inform us, to persuade us, and to connect with us. So the only question left is, now that you know all the plays, how are you going to see the game?